Thank you,
Am I
Luke.
clear?
Yes, thank you very much. Can we hear from Irene? In terms of access, what can be done? I know government has a role, but also from private sector, which I would say is more like demand driven. Arvin, can you comment on that question?
Yeah, actually, I was going to just share the same comment that Twahir has mentioned. We've had the government do quite a bit, and that's why for me I was saying we need to look at innovations in this area. Industry needs to come in. Of course, the public-private partnerships are a big deal as well, and they need to come in. So we still also have our own agency as the industry to plug in, because there's this famous quote that if you gave the government all the sand in Sahara, in 10 years, you'd find no sand there because it could be mismanaged or something like that. But the point is, we can't let the government do everything for us. Definitely, we could consider partnering with them. And that's where now community networks come in. That's where, the smaller ISPs are empowered by us also subscribing to them. That's where, IXPs as well come in. So by industry also playing its role, government becomes very easy in terms of its work, which is just passing the regulations and ensuring that no one is harmed in the process of industrialization or as it were. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Alphonse, if you have 30 seconds.
Thank you very much. I think I can only support like what Lumumba and Luke, that of course we need government support in this with things regarding policies and regulations, but as citizens of Kenya or the community, we also need to come up with innovations that gives government insight to support us. So there is something that there is a guy who presented one time and said that very many small things make a big thing. So if we come up with very many small community networks or community initiatives, then they can make a big thing or a movement kind of that can like challenge the government to support or get into. So I think that is my response.
Thank you, Alphonse, and thank you for that brevity. I know that we are out of time. We have about 5 minutes, and we would like to share this in our plenary. Thanks to all the presenters. I think you see the kind of conversation that is coming out. It is not possible to discuss all these aspects in 90 minutes, but we are happy because this is a conversation that is starting. I've seen Barrack in the house. I want to give him an opportunity also, and we had promised a minute each to our implementers. There are people already running community networks, so I'll have them in that order. We'll start with Twahir. You will take a minute, and then we'll have Irene Misoi. I think Irene is still in the house, and then Barrack. That should be about 3 minutes or 3.5, and then I'll bring in the next set of contributors. Kindly, Twahir.
Good evening.
Yes,
can you hear me?
Yes, very well. Carry on.
Okay, I'm sorry, I wasn't prepared to speak. I'm not actually feeling very well today. Now, I'll just like to emphasize what my brother here said, Alphonse. The issue of government intervention, whilst it's important that the government actually comes in, I don't think the issue of connectivity can solely be left on to the government to ensure that every corner of the country or actually even the globe is actually connected. This has to come from each and every person amongst us. The little that you can do possibly in your rural area, if you're going and you have a modem and you get the children connected around that area, that is something you're doing. So it needs to come as a collective effort from each one of us. Small things make a big thing. Thank you.
Thank you, Twahir. Madam Irene.
Thank you, everybody.
I just want to add that setting up community networks is a very important aspect of connectivity currently, so that we ensure that everybody is connected to the internet, because it's a requirement, it's a necessity, like water. And I would urge, probably as we wait for the policy document that is being developed on community networks, we can partner with the organizations that are providing connectivity currently. For our community network in Lanet Umoja, we are partnering with Kenneth, and Kenneth is providing internet connectivity to Lanet Umoja. This is the reason why we did partner with them is they have infrastructure all over the country that people can make use of to connect to their community in network. So I would urge everybody to just, as we wait for the regulator to finalize on the documentations that are being prepared regarding community networks, we can have partnerships with other people to just extend the networks, everybody in the rural communities. Thank you.
Thank you, Irene. Barrack, you have been in this space for a while. Kindly put in your voice, especially to the issue of policy. This is usually following us from behind. We break new ground, then legislation follows. What would be your remarks?
Thank you very much, Mr. Moderator, and good afternoon, colleagues. Indeed, it's an honor. I would say that the government has done its part, of course, in partnership with stakeholders in terms of policy. Indeed, I would challenge each one of us to read the policy document. You will see that it is forward-looking or forward-thinking. But just to add my voice or my weight to what has already been said by colleagues, I think is to provide solutions at community level. In Kenya, we have those who say Serikali's idea, and there are those who decide that with the little that they have, they will decide to do something. As Irene has said, we've seen in our communities, people who have taken upon themselves to put up solar plants, and they do lighting for our trading centers in our villages. We've seen those that have sunk borehole or tapped water from rivers and sambazed it to homesteads in local communities. So I want to believe that this is the same approach when it comes to internet. Right now, it's not a question of whether we need it. We already need it. And most of us, when we go to our rural areas, we realize that it's cheaper to do a video call with our grandparents or our parents who may be back in the village. There's so much more that can be communicated using a video call than, say, an SMS or a phone call. So I think it's a clarion call. Let us start where we are. This is not rocket science. Much has been written. What remains is action. And I want to concur with the speakers. I'm glad I was just listening in and learning also from colleagues. That's the spirit of the internet society. Let me put it that way. No one really arrives. And so whenever we have an opportunity to be together like this and speak, and which I commend the leadership for, we all pick a thing or two. So thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Just to say that the policy is forward-looking, and right now we need hands that are ready to get dirty. And to challenge everyone on the call, let's start with what we have. In some cases, it will just be that modem. In some cases, it will just be a simple radio. It doesn't need to be 1,000 people. You can connect 10, you can connect 20, you can connect 15. It goes a long way in making a big difference in our communities. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Barrack. That is a legend for ISO Kenya chapter, and I'm glad that you're able to join us today. Last week you missed out, but I'm sure you maybe had a chance to look at the recording. Before I lose you, Is this one of our topics on the IGF? You know, plans at an advanced stage for the Kenyan National IGF. Kindly, Mr. Barrack.
Definitely, it is an emerging trend or an emerging issue, so it will feature during the IGF, and of course, we are looking forward to collaborating with the chapter in the IGF. A formal communication will be coming to the office so that we can agree on the approach. But just to invite all of us by extension for the IGF that will be held on 26th and 27th of August, it will be a virtual meeting. So yes, the community network we have a thematic area, emerging trends, where it will be discussed among other issues such as electronic health, e-learning, which of course have been very key in moving the nation forward. Just to remind us, the theme for the 2021 Global IGF or UN IGF is Internet United. So we'll be looking at how has the internet united the country, be it in education, be it in government, be it in the health sector. What have we been able to achieve and what remains to be done? So I think it will be a critical platform, especially for members of the society, to come forward and articulate some of the things they think the internet has done in uniting the country. Thank you very much.
Awesome, awesome. Thanks, Barrack. I think in the interest of time, we will, I know Dr. Omollo is on queue to say a word. And we also have a vote of thanks from our SG, Mr. Javi Rapudo. So before they come on, I would like to give our usual fun moment to those logging in from outside Nairobi and then outside Kenya. Just one per category. I think from outside Nairobi, we've already had from Twahir. Anyone else from a far off place within the country? Oh, and we still have Augustine on the call. So Augustine will give you a moment then.
Okay, Joel, also we have the former SG is also attending. So you need also to recognize this presence. Thank you.
I will, certainly. Thank you very much. So anyone from, okay, I also acknowledge my colleague Halima. I think she's on the call. My colleague from the office, Halima Mahmoud from Mombasa. So she wouldn't want to speak, but anyone from outside Nairobi, from the regions that have not been represented?
Yes, Augustine from Yaoundé, Cameroon.
Welcome, sir.
Yeah, thank you so much for the representations. I've learned a lot. I am so happy. It is really something I've been longing for. Doing it in Cameroon, especially in the Anglophone region, although there's some serious unrest, but I mean, those are people who really understand community network. They've been tapping their water as a community and doing a lot of things as a community. So I was really hoping to learn much so that when opportunity comes out, I should be able to maybe bring in the issue of community network, saying they already know many things that they've been doing together as a community. Thank you so much. It was quite enriching. I was actually blessed to be with you people this afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Be blessed, Augustine. And those are greetings from Cameroon. I will give a minute to Obi from Chicago.
Everyone, thank you for the opportunity to sit in and listen. Like I said before, I work with Tuna Panda on a lot of their work and a lot of the great work they're trying to do with community networks on the continent. I'm a researcher by background, so a lot of what I try to do is figure out some questions, some answers to some of the questions around supporting the sustainability of CN. So always a great opportunity to join these calls and listen in on how engineers and folks on the ground are trying to build out these networks, and willing to be a resource in any way, or willing to listen to some of your questions, research questions, and things that you think need to be explored as we try to make community networks a viable solution for access and meaningful connectivity. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Obi. Thanks for staying with us the whole time. We appreciate your time. And thanks for supporting Tuna Panda. we know that this will give us a lot of resource base. I want to give 1 minute to Charles Olo. I gave you a chance earlier, maybe you are not in, so then kindly, Charles. Charles, if you can hear me, the floor is yours. Okay. I think, oh, it's raining. Charles says it's raining here, so maybe the audio will not be very nice. That's all right. Charles Olo is one of our founder members and an outstanding member of the Kenyan chapter. Thank you all. Thank you, colleagues. I want to acknowledge the presence of Daniel Otieno, one of our trustees. I think he's dropped out already, but today we picked 32. So for my colleagues, my fellows, Luke Kapchanga, who are our celebrants today. Luke, we have Alphonce Odhiambo, and also Irene Lumumba. We thank you very much. We had a big crowd, but I'm sure maybe networks again kept them away and they wouldn't be able to log in as you attested. But we appreciate your effort in this exercise. Like I said last time, we had about 47 people who registered for the fundamentals program, but only 6 of you came through on this matter. I really appreciate, and my colleague Athena would say as much, that you gave us this moment. You know, being our last session for the fundamentals this year, I can only say that, you know, it has been exciting. We look forward to more next year, and probably and we'll have more time. You know, we'll move away from this 90-minute session to probably 2 hours, and we'll be able to get more support. I know there's more going on the chat. While I look at the chat, I welcome our former SG, who has been an anchor in the Internet Society chapter. This is Mr. Anthony Antieno. I can't see him, but I think he's in the house. Anthony, you're in the house. Please use your mic and say hello to the participants. Anthony? Anthony, if you can hear me.
Okay, we can proceed if there's not hearing, so that we can save on
Probably
time.
is not able to unmute at the moment, but just let us know if you're back, Anthony, so that you can log out and log back in, especially if you're using the phone, so that before SG will finish his remarks, you can be able to say hello. Dr. Richard, 1 minute.
Okay, thank you, moderator. Thank you, everyone. I'm so glad to be part of the audience. This session provided quite educative information, and I also learned a lot. As it has been intimated by previous speakers, we have a responsibility to empower the community with access and also utilization. I know everybody has a role to play, either as coming to sponsorship or capacity building or advocacy or whatever role that we can play. I just impress upon everyone, you just combine our effort together, and then you utilize internet, because internet is power and is connecting communities and is also able to save our life for the betterment. Thank you so much, Moderator.
Thank you very much, and thank you, Dr. Richard Omollo. That's our head of research. He's doing a good job, and we hope that, you know, in the coming few weeks, we'll be sharing